Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Miracle Sims with God, Sex, and Love, and I am here to take over Miss Natacha's channel. Yes, I would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you for her inviting me to this series of Women in the Word here on Little Bits of Bliss. I'm excited to share with you all today, and I hope that you all enjoy it too. So just to share a little bit about me, I'm an actress, entrepreneur, a bit of a consultant of sorts, and an author, right? I'm doing a lot of different things, wear a lot of different hats. But one of the main things that I'm doing right now is walking in my purpose, y'all. And that is with my passion project that I call God, Sex, and Love. Now, I know those three words don't get put together too often. You may be curious and wondering, like, what is this girl into? But I promise you, it's not as taboo as it sounds. You know, at the end of the day, I feel like God should be incorporated in every aspect of our lives. And so, yes, I have the platform called God, Sex, and Love. It's a talk show and a podcast. I do daily inspiration that goes out about like 6 a.m. every day. And then every Friday, we have the talk show that goes out at 7 p.m. And we talk about everything, friends. We talk about everything on God, Sex, and Love. So yeah, come check us out. Come check us out and you know, learn more about me and more about the different people that have come and graced our presence thus far. But today I am here to share with you all a little bit about joy. I did a little praying today, and the way that I usually do things, especially with the daily inspiration aspect, is that after my prayer and meditation, whatever words come into my mind or whatever phrases or whatever, I end up looking up verses centered around them, and then God gives me something to say every day on the juice. And so this was no different. This was no different. I prayed, you know, I prayed for everything. I was thanking God for this opportunity, thanking God for Miss Natacha and just everything that he's been doing in my life, friends and family, my international dream team, you know, all those different things I was praying for. And of course, praying for something, for him to give me something to say today. And the word joy came into my heart and mind. I started to look up verses centered around that. And basically, I would just say the topic today is count it all joy. Count it all joy. I know in my Bible study experience that I've been doing over the past few years, um, you know, I definitely feel like I find different things or different ways to look at different things these days. So joy is definitely one of those ways. I want to say, you know, I've studied it. I'm sure quite a few times over the past few years. And so the interesting thing is I know that it can be difficult and hard to have joy in the midst of trials and in the midst of, you know, things that we deem to be bad. But I've been trying my best to change that personally. Like, you know, now I try to look at things where if it's difficult or if I feel like there's persecution coming my way or things like that, I try to look at it like, you know what, I'm in good company. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the biblical figures went through the same types of things, even Jesus. And so, you know, with that in the back of my mind, um, yeah, I've been able to find joy in those tumultuous moments, you know. So I believe that's kind of what the inspiration is today. James 1 and 2 says, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. You know, something that I do with the daily inspiration is I have these different phrases, right? And one of them is called the pulp. And that phrase to me means something that we don't like. Um, yeah, so when I refer to the Pope in the daily inspiration aspect, that's what I mean. So yeah, that verse right there, it might be Pope, friends. It might be something we don't like. It may not, it may be something that we don't understand. Like, how can we find joy in the midst of those trials, right? Um, well, I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier in regards to understanding that one, we're in good company because other biblical figures had to go through the same things. Two, understanding that God will use all things for his good and for our good. You know, there is the verse that says, I didn't write it down, But there is the verse that says that all things work together for the good of those that love God. And so I like to add in the phrase that says, even the things we don't understand. So yeah, friend, at the end of the day, I hope that that encourages you and inspires you this morning. That yeah, in the midst of trials and tribulations, that we can still find joy and we can still know that it's going to work for my good, whatever this thing is. I have plenty, plenty of testimonies about that. One of the biggest debacles in my life led up to the most beautiful things that I have in my life now. I could go deeper and talk to y'all about like every single aspect, but I know y'all probably ain't got time to hear all of that. I've shared it a lot on the platform, so I'm not just trying to plug GSL, but I mean, if you guys want to know more about me and all those details, check out the juice because I share a whole lot there. But yeah, man, some of the biggest debacles in my life, some of the things that, you know, were the craziest situations to go through. At the end of the day, it led me to meet some of the most amazing people. And it led to things like, you know, me meeting my husband, who, you know, of course, by me meeting him, now we have, you know, we born some fruit. You know, I have a son now and everything like that, who it blows my mind to know that at the end of the day, you know, if there was a couple of choices that I didn't make in my life, or if I hadn't met my husband or whatever, that my son would not be here. It's crazy. So yeah, man, at the end of the day, man, do not be discouraged when you're going through things. And, you know, count it all joy. Count it all joy. Here's another verse to hopefully encourage you, inspire you today. It's Galatians 5:22. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. I feel like that verse is going to go on and on into some more things, but I did stop right there in regards to the writing. But yeah, man, these are the fruit of the Spirit, right? These are the things that God instills in us. These are the things that I believe that God wants us to have. You know, all the other things that we experience, fear, doubt, worry. In my humble opinion, from what I'm understanding in my Bible study situation, God don't want us dwelling on those things. He wants us to cast our cares on Him and trust Him with those things. And so, you know, at the end of the day, again, let's lean into that, y'all. Let's count it all joy, no matter what we're going through. And if those fruit of the Spirit aren't in your life, then let's start exercising that and see where it gets you. Because I can tell you, man, I'm a living witness that at the end of the day, you know, again, there has been some situations. I mean, do I have to tell y'all about 2020? Y'all already know about 2020. And a lot of people see it as a negative thing, right? A lot of people, you know, have had bad experiences, you know, maybe they lost someone. A lot of things happen with that. But then I've been able to find peace in the midst of this pandemic, right? I've been able to thrive in the midst of this pandemic. I've been able to, you know, renew and refresh and just trust God. And He's been able to open doors, and there's goals and dreams and things that I have been working on for years that in the midst of this pandemic, God has allowed me favor and to be able to do. So, you know, I believe that again, that the more that we trust God, lean on Him for the understanding and wisdom and everything like that, then you're going to see these things exercised in your life. You're going to see the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, all those things in the midst of the trials, because the trials are going to come. That's the other thing too. I believe that there's like a misconception when it comes to being a believer. We think, or it somehow, right? We feel like, okay, once we become a believer, then, you know, that's it, right? Everything is going to get great and better and whatnot. And yeah, to a certain extent, I will say that things are going to get better, but that doesn't mean you're not going to go through things. That doesn't mean that you're going to stop being tempted. That doesn't mean that, you know, you're not going to get trials and tribulations coming your way. At the end of the day, honestly, you're going to get it more because you come to Christ. You're going to get more temptations and more trials and tribulations and things like that. Why, Miracle? Why you say that? Well, I mean, you know, I don't believe that the enemy, Satan, devil, whatever you want to look at him as, you know, he don't like when we come to Christ. You know, he don't want us, you know, focused on doing the will of God. So at the end of the day, you know, those things that we like, temptations are going to come our way to get us distracted. And it just goes on from there. You know, it goes on and on from there. So yeah, honestly, again, renewing your mind will help you to expect that, right? And be ready for that. And at the end of the day, when those things come your way, you can know that, okay, I'm going to remain faithful to God. I'm going to, do his will, and I'm going to deny myself. Whatever it is that you need to do to pick up your cross and follow Christ is, what we need to do in the midst of those trials and tribulations. And again, yeah, I think understanding that at the end of the day, that, you know what, I'm going to have trials and tribulations, so I choose to have joy. Don't get me started, y'all. That is one of my that's one of my pet peeves, when people act like they can't change, right? People say that's just me and all of that, and it's like, okay, at the end of the day, the word says that, in Christ we become a new creature. Y'all, look, I'm paraphrasing some of this, so y'all have to look up those verses for yourselves, but it does say that that in Christ that we become a new creature, and at the end of the day, so yeah, there is things that you can change, that you can change your mind about a lot of things. It's just, are you willing to? Do you want to? That's the real question at the end of the day. It's not that you can't, it's just you probably just don't want to. And I just say, be honest about that. At least be honest with yourself about that. Like I said, I won't get too deep into that because that is one of my my little hot button issues. But yeah, man, I just want you guys to understand that, God is faithful. God is faithful, and you can still have joy. Look, count it all joy. I got some more verses for y'all, man, before I go get off on a tangent here. Psalm 16:11 says, "You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures evermore." He's the God of joy. He's the God of peace. He's the God that has all things. So why don't we just go to him for the things that we desire? If we want peace and joy and all those things, then, ask God for it. You know what? Let me tell you. Let me share this verse right here with you. John 16:24. "Until now, you have asked nothing in my name. Ask and you will receive, that your joy may be full." Can we let that marinate for a second? Look, you have not because you asked not. That's what I'm hearing today. You have not because you asked not, friend. And it's so simple. I know it's one of those things where it's like, we feel like we need to do more. Like, well, what more can I do? And don't get me wrong, I've been there. I have that struggle all the time. My faith and work struggle. I'm like, okay, Lord, I believe, but I actually, I want to make sure I'm working too, to show you that I believe. I want to do both because you need to do both, right? And that's a whole nother subject by itself. However, when it comes to this, yeah, man, you have not because you ask not. The word says that, what I just said, and it also said what I just read, that at the end of the day, we have asked nothing in his name, and then we wonder why we don't have it. Have you at least tried to ask for joy if you don't have joy, for example, or peace if you don't have peace? I don't think we believe that it's that simple. I think that's part of the issue. I think that we feel like, again, that we have to do more. Like, it can't just be as simple as asking God, right? Like, or praying about it, like, but sometimes it probably could be just that simple. And we're the ones that are making it difficult. Adding to it. That ain't what the words say do. But don't get me started. Let me keep going, y'all. I just got a couple more verses to share. Just a couple. Let me see. John 16:22. "So also you have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy from you." I don't know what, this is the verse that actually made me be like, all right, because I was reading, I looked up verses centered around joy, and they were standing out, they were sounding good, but then I read that one and I was like, that's good. Okay, I hear you, Lord. Let me go on and talk about joy today. But yeah, man, I mean, how beautiful is that? Like, yeah, we can be going through the midst of trials and tribulations and sorrow and all those different things, but at the end of the day, his word says that he will see us again, and our hearts will rejoice. And guess what? No one will take that joy away from us. Now I'm paraphrasing, I'm saying it in plural. But yeah, man, that's what the word says. And so at the end of the day, the question is, do you believe? Do you believe that? And if you do, then you're going to start living accordingly. You're going to trust him. You're going to seek him. You're going to ask him. And you're going to see these things again, those fruits of the spirit that we talked about earlier, moving in your life. Again, I can share my testimony all day long, so I don't think I should get started with it, y'all. Again, I promise you, Miss Natasha's like, girl, if you say something about GSL again. But I just share so much there. I share so much, so many testimonies, so many like real life things that I'm currently going through, things that I'm currently experiencing and whatnot. So if you want to hear more about my testimony and whatnot, please check out the juice, check out, God, Sex and Love, the talk show, all those different things. We are very transparent on there, about ups and downs and everything like that. So yeah, I just don't feel like I should get into my testimony. But at the same time, man, that is just beautiful to know that at the end of the day, our hearts will rejoice again. Even after sorrow and pain and all those different things, you can have joy. I've seen a quote recently where it's saying that at the end of the day, everything bad that you went through, you made it through it. Now I know I jumbled it up, I messed it up there, but yeah, every single bad moment and thing that you've gone through thus far in your life, have you not made it through, friend? I believe the answer is yes. You made it another day, and that means you're not going through it presently. And well, of course, depending on where you are, I know everybody's situation is unique, but yeah, man, at the end of the day, if you were going through a bad day yesterday, that today is a brand new day. And, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired to know that, yes, God can give you joy. He will give you joy, and he wants to give you joy. And, and guess what? Count it all joy, even those trials and tribulations, even those things that, um, again, seem to be bad. Um, if you need some practical steps, I'm just going to say again, keeping in mind that, hey, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm going through this. Other people have gone through this. Jesus went through this. So I am not alone. So that's one thing that hopefully encourages you and inspires you. Two, I'm going to cast my cares on God. Those things that I'm worried about, afraid of, all those different things. Hey, God got it. At the end of the day, he created it all. He created everything. He has everything. So go to him. He's the one that has it. And yeah, just count it all joy, friends. Count it all joy. I can keep going on and on and on. So let me share just one more verse with you all that stood out to me. Actually, let me see. Let me make sure. Oh, okay, I got two more verses. Two more things. This first verse here is John 15:11. It says, "These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full." I'm just telling y'all, he's trying to let us know. He's telling us these things so we'll be able to understand that, he wants our joy to be full. He wants us to have that hope. Because listen, we can see all around us what life without hope looks like, what life without joy looks like, what life without peace looks like, what ultimately is life without God, what that looks like. And I don't know about you, friend, but I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I want to do God's will. I want to live accordingly. I want to do things with purpose. I want to not just, live my dreams and passions. Like that just goes along with it. And I thank God for, that somehow, his will for my life has coincide with my passions and dreams and goals. So, but that's a whole nother thing as well. Because when you make God's wants your wants, and you're gonna get what you want. So that's a whole nother thing. Look, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, friends, like I said, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired by this, because this, I mean, you can have joy. And even in the midst of terrible situations, count it all joy. One more verse, y'all. One more verse to share today. And I guess you can Bible verse of the day. I don't know. You want to call it that, cool. But this stood out to me this morning. Not this morning. well, whatever time this is for you, it stood out to me to share. It's Psalm 4:7. It says, "You have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and wine abound." Mm, mm, mm. Do y'all want joy like that? That overflows? That type of joy where it that's more than what food and wine. You know how you feel when you have a good meal. You feel good, right? Feel good and full, right? Same thing. You might have a nice little glass of wine, right? And it might make you feel good. But this thing right here says, "You have put more joy in my heart than those things." And so, at the end of the day, again, if you want that joy, you want that peace, you want that love, you want the fruit of the spirit, then go to Jesus, go to God, and seek it. And friend, I guarantee that you will find it, friend. That's all I got today, y'all. Usually I would wrap this up by saying this is the juice, but it's not the juice. I'm just visiting. But I just want to say thank you again to Miss Natacha. I truly, truly appreciate this opportunity to crash your platform and share on today. I hope that you all were encouraged and inspired. Little bits of bliss indeed, y'all. Um, I truly, truly enjoyed talking to you all today. Again, y'all can find out more about me at actressmiraclesims.com. You guys can check out the talk show, the podcast. Look at my journals and all kinds of good things at godsexandlove.com. And yeah, man, I thank you all so, so much for listening and watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share both of these platforms that is bringing this beautiful bliss to y'all on today. God, Sex, and Love, and Little Bits of Bliss. And yes, I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.